What is up, A-Team? Welcome back. Awesome here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. The day we've all been waiting for here is the release of the Hinman report, the emails, everything that we've been waiting for over 2 years now, waiting for these to finally be revealed. And we're seeing it right now. And the greatest part about Twitter is that you have Stuart right here. And if you guys don't know who Stuart is, obviously he's the chief legal officer of Ripple. He comes out here and puts together a nice tweet where he goes in and basically rips apart everything that we see here. In addition to that, you also have Paul over here. If you guys haven't been following the Coinbase thing, he's the chief legal officer of Coinbase. He even goes in and talks about some of the things that were revealed here. I think a lot of this is actually going to play favor into not only Ripple, Coinbase, and even maybe Binance.us. But let's jump into it right here. And really what Stuart has to say is that it's been 5 years since the Bill Hinman gave his infamous speech. And through the SEC lawsuit against Ripple and 7 other court orders, we can finally share what happened behind the scenes through now a public email/draft of the speech. And I think a lot of it was here. This speech is out there, but what they're talking about is the draft section of it was actually the thing that was hidden. It says, we can now all see Hinman ignored multiple warnings that his speech contained made-up analysis with no basis in law, was divorced from the Howey factors, exposed regulatory gaps, and would create not just confusion, but greater confusion in the markets, which obviously that's where we're at today. It says a refresher of Hinman as head of the security gave a speech in June 2018 declaring the token is not a security once it becomes sufficiently decentralized. And he invented factors to consider when making a sufficiently decentralized determination. I would highly advise, I'm going to pin this down below in my comment. I'd highly advise to go watch this. It's about 4 minutes and 38 seconds of them basically going through this report here. And it's actually a very well put together video here. It says, although Hinman claimed that the speech was his personal views, he and the SEC touted its guidance. Then the SEC chair, Jay Clayton, publicly pointed to it. Despite the SEC repeatedly flip-flopping on significance of the speech in the litigation, it remains on the agency's website. Now, let's look at what senior SEC officials directly said to Hinman about his speech as he was drafting it. It says, head of the trading and market said, because of the list of factors is so extensive and appears to include things that go beyond the typical Howey analysis, we have concerns that this might lead to greater confusion on what a security is. And again, right here we see that Hinman ignored these concerns. So these are actually things that they were put in there for notes and stuff like that. He ignored it and continued forward. It says T&M directly asked Hinman to tie his newly invented factors more closely and explicitly to the Howey analysis. Again, Hinman ignored those suggestions. So these people are still pushing back, like saying, hey, we should probably apply these things. But he said no and kept going forward. It says the Office of General Counsel and T&M called this factor legally irrelevant. Has this person or group retained a stake or other interest in the digital assets such that it would be motivated to expend efforts to cause an increase in value in the digital assets? Again, he kept that, although they asked for him to remove that. T&M and OGC noted that Hinman skipped over the threshold jurisdictional question of whether a digital asset meets the legal standards of a security. He jumped to asking whether SEC oversight could, in Hinman's review, be beneficial. Again, Hinman ignored the regulatory gap. It says on June 4th, Hinman wrote that he didn't see a need to regulate ETH as a security and would call Buterin later that week to confirm our understanding. And as you guys know, there is in this documents right here showing that Vitalik was involved in the process of Hinman's infamous speech here. And it says right here on June 4th, Hinman shared a draft of the speech with the SEC division heads and wrote that the purpose language about Ethereum is in brackets and would be used if we are in agreement. And adding, we also have a call with Buterin later this week to confirm our understanding of how the Ethereum Foundation operates, suggesting that the draft did not reflect Hinman's understanding of how Ethereum operations worked. So you can see right there that they were including Vitalik in this discussion here. I think that's pretty crazy. I didn't expect that. It said on June 12th, the OGC expressed reservation about including a statement directly about Ethereum in the speech because it would make it difficult for the agency to take a different position on Ethereum in the future. ETH remained as a cited example. He did not remove that, which we just showed. So what should happen now? First, remove the speech immediately from the SEC's website. As you guys know, this speech is on there. It says, and investigation must be conducted to understand what or who influenced Hinman, why conflicts, or at the very least, appearance of conflicts were ignored, and why the SEC touted the speech knowing that it would create greater confusion. Lastly, and finally, the Hinman speech should never again be invoked by any serious discussion about whether a token is or is not a security. Unelected bureaucrats must faithfully apply the law with the constraints of their jurisdiction. They can't, as Hinman tried, create new law. And again, I think that that's really where it goes into here is that what is the regulatory gap? It's proof that Hinman's emails of what we've been saying to the third district court, and this is Paul himself, to Congress and the SEC itself, that securities laws are incomplete when it comes to digital assets. The securities laws are not meant to rule over the digital assets, and that many digital assets are not securities. This is pretty crazy to sort of see all this come through. I definitely think that a lot of this is going to weigh fact. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think that this actually helps out a lot of what's going on with Ripple here, at least in their fair use case. Some are thinking that maybe this actually shows that Ethereum maybe could not be a security. I don't know. But to see that they were actually working with Buterin, to see that they were trying to figure out whether this was security or not, and he went forward and continually said that it was not security, is pretty crazy, right? But now these documents are out there for everyone to see, and you can see a lot of people here are pretty happy with the results of this. Obviously, the markets are down today overall. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is I think this is positive for the cryptocurrency space to see all this. The SEC has tried really hard over 2 years of trying to basically not allow these things to come out, and I think it's because they know that this actually shows in favor of the cryptocurrency space. And I don't know. We're going to have to sort of see what happens here, but I feel that we're coming to an end. We're coming near an end of this. I think a lot of this is coming out there. The judge is going to have to make a ruling on this now. And seeing that you have a conflict of interest between one head and another one is pretty crazy to think, right? You have one that was saying that this is not a security, and now you have one who used to be really into crypto saying the same thing in Gary Gensler. And, I don't know, man. It's pretty wild to sort of see what's happening here, but it's nice to see that the Hinman reports are out here. And I guess we're going to sit here and draw our feedback on this and continue to talk about it and discuss it. I'm sure more details will come to light. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below on what you think with all this. Are you pretty happy with the results? Are you not? Let me know down below. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And with all that said, we're out. Peace out, everyone.